Welcome to the pregame show here on the Spartan Digital Network as we get set to kick this season off of the 2015-16 campaign, joined by, for the first time, Coach Matt Brock. Coach, you've been here for a while, but first of all, welcome to Missouri Baptist. How have things been going so far since, I believe, March, isn't it?
Thank you, yeah. End of March, early April, we got going. It's been kind of a whirlwind, but it's been great. People from the top, Dr. Lacey, Dr. Smith, all the way to everybody in the athletic department on campus has been a joy to work with.
You've had a chance to come into this situation in an AMC school, a conference you're definitely not unfamiliar with. You've had coaching stops in Columbia College and Hannibal LaGrange, and you've had a chance to really look at this Missouri Baptist team up close over the last several years. What has stood out about Missouri Baptist, about some of the players that are here now currently that you thought of when you first got here and said, these are guys that I can win with?
Well, I've always admired Missouri Baptist prior to getting here, and it definitely lived up to all my expectations. It's definitely a first-class institution in the way we operate here, and you know that. And you know, seeing the guys competing against Stephen Buckner, Chris Buzzle, some of those guys the last few years, you see the ability those guys have, especially on the offensive end. And we definitely are working to find ways to put those guys in good positions and maybe help them improve a little more on the defensive end, which has been a huge emphasis for us.
So for those folks who don't know, you're coming into this not only with a great basketball background yourself, but your family has a great basketball history. Talk a little bit about and share that with the fans a little bit about your basketball history.
Yeah, my dad is the head basketball coach at Carl Junction High School. He was my high school coach. He's coached for over 30 years and been very successful, nearing 500 wins. Been to several Final Fours. My sister actually played at Evangel in Springfield, played on a couple Final Four teams. She coached at Central High School for a while, and then coached a very high-level AAU team, got like third in the nation. And then my younger brother, Thomas, he has been coaching for several years now, played at Missouri State and Southwest Baptist, and now this year he took the assistant job at Columbia College. So we'll be playing against them a couple times a year.
That's going to be a lot of fun. First chance to coach, first of all, against Bob Burchard, who you coached under, and then your brother, getting a chance to coach against him for the first time. Did you have that game circled on your calendar?
No, we're way too far away from that. We're trying to worry about November 3rd, and then go to day-to-day. We got so many things to worry about. We haven't even given any thought about the Cougars yet, but they're going to be really strong and really tough, and Coach Burchard's got it rolling there, and I was fortunate to be a part of it for a couple of years, and you know, Thomas is a really talented coach and a good coach as well. So we'll have our hands full, but it's a long way. We don't have to see them for a while.
Well, let's talk about, in the same vein with as good as the Cougars are, the AMC is really strong this year, especially the top 25 poll just came out a couple of days ago and featured, I believe, Freed Hardman is number 9, Columbia is, I believe, 16, and Lindenwood Belleville comes in there receiving votes. 3-horse race in the AMC, at least it has been over the last several years. How do you make it a 4-team race?
Well, I think you left out Park, who was receiving votes as well.
Yeah.
And Park's got 2 guys coming off an injury with a great returning team that they got to be in the mix as well. So, you know, I've told several people this. I think this league is as strong as it's ever been. I think there's 4 legitimate top 25 teams preseason. Obviously, the rest of us are trying to work a way, find a way to get in there. But you know, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. You know, right now we're just trying to stay in the present and stay focused on this non-conference season. In November, getting prepared for December 3rd, our first conference game. But yeah, I mean, it's as a coach, you realize, okay, what this league's doing, and you're happy because the better the league is, the more national recognition we get, hopefully the more bids we get into the national tournament.
A lot of newcomers, new faces here on this team in 2015-16. You've had a chance to now see them practice a lot, and now you kind of know exactly what you've gotten from each of these players and what they're going to bring to the team. Give us one player that's really stood out in your mind of those 9 new guys. Now, I know it's going to be hard to pinpoint one, but give us one of those guys that really stood out in your mind as being someone who you really are going to be able to count on this year.
Well, so hopefully several of them, but to pick just one today, I think Will Harrington from out of Fort Scott Community College is a leader at the guard spot. He can play on the wing. He can slide over to the point guard position. Left-handed, really skilled, can do a lot of different things with the basketball, and he has leadership qualities, and that's something we've been trying to push him to be more of a leader, more vocal when he's out on the court. But he's absolutely a solid kid, solid student, and kind of the prototype of what we hope, the type of kid we hope to attract to this program and build this program with.
You've got a new mindset about how you want to run a team, and I've been to a couple of your practices, and defense is always stressed. What is it about this team that you want them to be very successful at?
Well, I think transition is huge, whether it's offense or defense, and especially defensively, you've got to be really good early in the possession, because if you allow teams to get into a fast break advantage situations, it's really hard to get stops. So we've been putting a huge emphasis on defensive transition. Our scrimmage back a week or two ago showed it on film and saw it in more of a game situation, and our guys kind of caught their attention. So hopefully the practices that we've spent revisiting that and continuing to work on it, hopefully we see some progress tonight.
Tonight, you've got kind of what I think we've termed an unknown quantity with Concordia Seminary coming in. A good way to start the season. What do you know about Concordia Seminary, and what are you looking for your team to do tonight? Well,
I think they're a little better than people think. I think last year they actually had Missouri Baptist down 10 at the half, and then
I remember that.
The Spartans were able to come back, thankfully, but we know a little bit about their personnel from last year. There's some guys that are back. We know that they're a veteran group. They've got some experience, and they've got some guys that can really shoot the three well. So we're gonna have to defend the three-point line well and try to impose our will inside, because I think we're gonna have an advantage in the post, and that's an emphasis for us offensively. Has been getting the ball inside to our post players, and they've been continuing to improve. So we'll worry a little more about us tonight and what we're doing, and still knowing what our opponent likes to do. But as we get farther into the season and get more information on teams, that's when we'll really crank up the scouting.
You have an exhibition game on the schedule on Friday against Drury. They're a ranked top 25 team out of Division II. It's a real strong team that you're going to have to go down to their place and play. First of all, why do you put a game like that on the schedule this early? And number two, what do you want to see from your team in that type of a game? Well,
an exhibition for both of us is kind of a souped-up scrimmage. So you can play a scrimmage where you can't charge admission, you can't have popcorn. I guess you could have popcorn popping, but an exhibition is truly a game, but the result does not affect your record. So Drury, neither of us will have a win or a loss after that game, but it'll give us experience against a high-level team like you're talking about, and an unbelievable coach. Steve Hesser won the national title in 2013. Just has an amazing program. So it's going to be a good test. Playing a good team like that early, really going to show us, all right, this is what we got to get better on the month of November as we head into conference play.
Coach, we've got a lot of these. We'll save a lot of the questions for further down the line. But until then, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's Coach Matt Brock. I'm Brad Seigan. Tip-off coming for you here in just a few minutes, live from the Carl & Dolores Petty Sports and Recreation Complex. We'll be back in just a minute. You're watching Missouri Baptist Basketball on the Spartan Digital Network.